Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Console Overwatch Multi-Tier Tournament. Happy Sunday, and welcome to some Tier 3 action. My name is Bullskunk, joined by Baysk here in the booth today, and we have Defeato taking on Decay in the Tier 3 Diamond Division.
Yes, sir, we got a Week 5 matchup. 2-2 Defeato, and I believe the 0-3 Decay, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what are our bans for this week, right? The ban here is Brigida, McCree, Reinhardt, and Widow. And then in terms of map pool, we're going to start out on Busan and then take it over to, what is that, Temple of Anubis?
Kings Row will be our second
Kings Row,
map.
thank you. Yep, I knew I was going to
Anubis.
mess that up. Then the Temple, and then Gibraltar, and then if the case of a tie, either 1-1 or 2-2, we will finish it out on Ilios, I believe. And I think both teams are ready, so we're just going to jump into this right now. If that's
Wasting
cool
no time. Let's get right into the action.
This?
We are. Let's get right into the action.
Woohoo! Fantastic.
Yeah, this hero pool has been very interesting. Not having Reinhardt or Brig, I think, has really thrown a curve to a lot of teams here this week.
And not only the heroes that are gone, but the new hero, Echo, is finally playable this week. And so some teams got experimental that I've seen. A lot of scrims I was playing had a lot of Echo. And so let's see if either of these teams elect to go for that sort of play.
We've seen it peppering. Yeah, we've seen it kind of put in spots here and there, but not an overwhelming amount, and to mixed success, I must say.
Yeah, I think nobody fully understands how Echo is most effective, like what comp she works with. I saw people trying to run her with dive, people trying to run her with double shield for extra shield break, working with Orisa halts, but we are actually going to see Decay go for it right off the bat. You're going to see Dex DPS taking the Echo, and Dex is live on the Doomfist with a nice Sig Hog composition, actually. This
interesting tank lineup over there. Yeah. On the other side, we're getting Zarya Sigma, which is another unusual lineup here. We're getting one of the new pickups here for Defeato, Dragon on the DPS, pulling out the Hanzo and opening things up. Finds first kill right out of the gate as G goes down. Now that res is available as they are running the Lucio Mercy combo there on the side of Decay. And a Hog from Decay flanking around, trying to pick Dragon off. Throws the hook in, but perfectly timed bubble. It's going to deflect that hook away. Now we got Defeato circling him down to the objective. See if they can get control percentage started for us here.
Just going to kind of clean house there. So what you saw was Dex DPS on the Echo taking that off angle, but what Defeato smartly did is they just rotated around a point on top of the Echo, and now they've got this full high ground control. They got the whole point, maybe some early ult percentage. Let's see what they can put together with this chokehold.
Yeah, coming up on Coalescence should be the first thing we have online. And it looks like, well, it looks like Decay is just trying to muscle up through here. We'll see how they try to break through this choke. Because right now I'm not seeing a big tool to do it. In fact, the overwhelming damage from Dragon and Hordak are just going to be too much, and that choke just gets stuffed. Decay sent right back to spawn with a quickness here. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and it's tough to do that only with a Sigma shield as well. I think that's only 700 health you can sponge up, and you have that Torbjorn turret constantly putting in work. And so yeah, they're just going to dodge it. They're going to go right onto point. Look at this aggressive play.
Oh, and it looks like Defeato wasn't quite ready for it. They were looking all around and didn't see him speed through the tunnel. And Dex finds first blood here. Managed to take out zombies. We did get the Molten Core on the field, and Canatune is going to drop to a flurry of Storm Arrows, but they do trade out for that Hanzo. Yoshi's going to go ahead and invest the Coalescence on the objective as Defeato tries to hold on to this thing. Numbers have dwindled on both sides. A late Graviton Surge coming out, and I think that's one Defeato's going to want back.
Yeah, and I love this composition, actually. I see how this is working now for Decay. I can understand why they want to play how they do, and they jump onto the point and then they disperse. And what happens is you have your Echo just shooting the shots, Soldier keeping a high ground, keeping the healing on himself. You have a lot of self-sustain heroes on this squad. Now you got ultimates to back it up, and the early flip just helped them out.
Yeah, and just as you said, we're going to have Sound Barrier of both DPS ults, and a nice hook onto Dragon. Tuna finding the final blow there and doing a great start here for Decay as they're trying to hold on. Percentage just getting tied up, and another good hook comes in. Zarya takes down about half health before getting that bubble up and cannot escape. The nice start there by Tuna and Abel and his team, and we're going to get the Dex DPS pulling out the clone. Drop the Coalescence there for a bit just to chase Defeato back down through the choke.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Dex clone the Moira as well. You probably see like a Torb or a Hans or something, more damage, but they actually elect for the sustain, and it works out well for them. They stay up and overpower, but now coming back is Defeato. Look at them through this choke.
Yeah, Tuna overextending air a little bit, tried to get the hook down, and then just pulled in his own death as Hordak got the bubble, was able to survive, and then they just picked him off from there. Nice focus fire coming through from Danny Defeato. They're going to move on to point and just kind of clean up individually, finding those scattered members of Decay and focusing down as one unit.
Yeah, and I think it was the overwhelming aggression that kind of gave them the upper hand in that fight. It was similar to what we saw from Decay when they first flipped the point. So now both teams understand the key to victory is kind of breaking past these shields and getting right on. So it's going to be on Decay now with Danny Defeato holding the point to see if they can use these 3-4 ults now and kind of break this grip on the high ground.
Good news for Decay is they were able to get 87% before losing control of the point. So one good fight win here could potentially take the opening round. Hog to open things up, but we've got the sound barrier coming out from the other side. Gravitic Flux coming out from Hordak, and he was able to find a couple tanks with it, but we did get the sound barrier from them as well. It's both support ult to use there on the side of Decay. So far, no kills coming through. In fact, Hordak's going to go ahead and take out Tuna. And they're going to try to turn their attention onto that DPS front. Dex does drop G down as well, and it does look like Danny's going to hold 93% and counting. Decay's going to have to get somebody on this point if they want to contest.
Yeah, I say zombies with a nice molten core there, and you're going to see Dex is live just jumping onto the point last second stall. I don't know if anybody can make it. You're going to see the deep assault, but a nice boot by Svar to completely stop a can of Tuna from touching the point. So you're going to see first round and a nice thriller going over to Danny Defeato. They're going to take Mecha base on Big Zom.
It was a good back and forth. You know, Decay did not look like an 0-3 team coming into that map. I expected it to perhaps be a little bit more one-sided. We did have Danny Defeato with a couple of new additions to their roster, and hopes of trying to make the playoff run here in the back 9 of the multi-tier tournament. Dragon being one of those new additions.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the DPS play was huge on the side of Danny Defeato. I think Dragon got a lot of those early picks, and the problem was Decay's comp is kind of built off those early picks, and so if they're not getting that, the Dragon's taking their advantage, get the 6v5, it's going to be really hard for them to pull back. So now going into this next point, no Echo on the field. Dex is actually going to swap over to the Ashe, and he's got his Mercy Pocket from MLG Seth. So we'll see if that fearsome composition can do some more work.
Yeah, go into the Orisa Sigma as well. We're going to stick with the Sigma Zarya there on the side of Danny Defeato. Dragon making a move over to the Tracer. I believe this is a character he excels with, if my memory serves me right. So
most definitely.
I'll be excited to see what he can do here on everybody's favorite British hero. Slay Zombie is actually coming up with first pick. Yoshi finding himself one as well. So Zarya getting into the action, and it's quick 3 kills there for Danny Defeato. Dragon does eventually go down to that Torbjorn hard counter. But at the end of the day, Danny still has control of the point here to start us off on Sanctuary.
I'm actually kind of shocked that this is working, because typically when you see a team, you know, forfeit to the double shield as Decay has, it's going to be hard to counter that without switching to a double shield of your own. But Danny Defeato somehow is holding this now with a Sigma Zarya. They're definitely losing the shield break. So Decay, I think, needs to take advantage of this kind of poke with the shields behind him and try to find that early pick in order to go in. And I think with that damage buff Ashe coming up, they should be able to do that.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if Dex's Live might need to go to a Junkrat or a Hanzo of his own, something with a little bit more of that shield break potential, because they certainly have the advantage there. But they're going to have to stop Danny Defeato's aggression as well, which is what they're using to push past and negate the double shield comp on the opposition.
Oh my
Dragon!
Holy
Dragon
cow.
showing up big, lighting the feet up with a big 4K. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see that one in the play of the game.
They're not even letting him get on the point. They're just taking these high aggressive holds. Dragon's playing around the backside. You can see him on the left side of your screen right now. He just keeps flanking around while they hold this low ground. If Decay is not busting these shields, they're going to keep taking this poke from Dragon in the back, and it's just going to be bad news. We're probably going to see a mirror result here if Decay can't fix this. Yeah, look at that pulse bomb. Dragon in the back.
Beautiful. Lands a stick onto the Ana, follows it up with a nice kill onto the Torbjorn. And this Tracer is just absolutely running Sanctuary. This is Dragon's house, and everybody else is just playing in it.
Dragon is just electric right now, and I'd say Decay is just looking a little flat sitting in the backlines, but they do take him out. This could be an opening as they do have the spawns. A nice sleep, a nice anti, and Dex finishes him off. This is 2 picks for them to work with. You got 90%. This is last fight. They got to go now.
Yeah, they've got to make something happen. Good news for them, though. They're coming up on a whole host of ultimates to work with. Valk and Nano Boost used. Nano Boost goes onto the Torbjorn. He's going to go ahead and throw Molten Core out. That is a nanoed Molten Core. Super hot lava everywhere.
Where are the kills?
Exactly. We're going to get attack visor from the other side. As a matter of fact, it is Zombies who's going to light up the feed. 2 kills coming through for Danny Defeato. Dragon does go down a Gimmet. Here comes the Graviton Surge. Yoshi's just going to pour so much damage into that Graviton Surge, and that is going to clean this up. Danny Defeato will take Busan in an early 1-0 lead.
It was close on Mecha Base, but man, this second portion was all Danny Defeato. That was crazy. Dragon on the Tracer, hopefully we get to see that. Oh no, it's actually be Yoshi on the Moira.
Yeah, it's going to be the Graviton Surge. Once again, a Moira stealing play.
Yeah, it's still cool.
Oh, no, actually it wasn't the play I thought it was. Yeah, it was the surge.
Oh!
Oh!
That's where he picks up the 3. Oh my goodness.
Man.
They're all just one shot. Dragon comes in there. Already so many epic plays in the first round.
Oh. We're going to sit into a quick break, get set up for map 2, but we'll be right back with Kings Row. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll see here in just a few moments. And we are back here for map 2 of our Tier 3 matchup between Danny Defeato and Decay. Danny Defeato taking a swift 1-0 lead with a pretty commanding performance there on Busan. As we head into Kings Row, we'll see if Decay can bounce back on everybody's favorite map. But it sounds like we had some... What was that? Kings Row?
Kings Row, baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
It did look like we had a couple subs coming in before we get into the map itself. Baysk, who did we got coming in?
Yeah, so we got Jirachi on the DPS stepping in for Dragon, who we saw pop on the Tracer, and then Venus the Savior coming in on the support line, coming in for Svarn. So we'll see how that plays into how they're going to elect to play Kings Row. I'd imagine they take out Dragon because he plays more of the divey heroes, you know, like the Hans, but I guess not Hanzo, but, you know, the Genji, the Tracer, more things like that. But I'd imagine Jirachi might have a little bit more flexible or different sort of hero pool. If not, maybe they're just doing the sub to get some more play time. I mean, these are new guys, right? This is a fairly new Danny Defeato team. And so it's going to be nice to get looks from everybody here, as now we got Jirachi and Venus. See how they fill with the rest of the team. And on the other side, nothing for Decay.
Sticking with the same roster.
Yep.
Well, and Jirachi Legends and Venus the Savior are two more of those new pickups Danny Defeato have brought into the lineup in an attempt to try to improve their standings over the last half of this tournament. So anxious to see how they do. I was going. I had my notes of where they came from, but I don't want to give you false information, so I'm not gonna speculate. I'm gonna try and find my notes here momentarily. In the meantime, though, we do have Danny Defeato coming out on the defense. What do you make of this composition?
I like the double shield with the Sigarissa. This is fairly standard for what we see on a Kings Row sort of thing. When there's no Reinhardt, typically a Rein-dominated map. He's out of the pool this week, so we're going to see the next best thing, I guess, which is double shield, unfortunately. Just kind of hold right trigger. But you do have Junk and Ash there. You can see Jirachi already 22% on that tire with a spawn trap.
Yeah,
he's going to be there to melt some shields, and then you got the Ash for the damage buff. See how they do against this dive wrecking ball. This is cool on the offense.
Yeah, running a little metal dive here with Wrecking Ball, Diva, and the Cyber Ninja. If it was fatal, finding that tire or the Junkrat trap right out of the gate. You know, Wrecking Ball's good for clearing out those traps. But it looks like the dive DPS both run into a ton of trouble as they're immediately deleted. And, well, it's going to be a quick reset here coming out of Decay.
Yeah, and the problem is you have so much CC on the side of Danny Defeato. You know, you have the junk mines, which can bounce you around, the coach gun, the Sig Rock, the Orisa pole, you know, the Halt. And so it's kind of hard to actually get where you're trying to go if everybody's moving you around and booping you and stuff. And so Danny Defeato's going to kind of sit strong and force them to play around their game. They're just going to sit on point. They're going to use this damage buff dash to get some extra damage done. See how that goes turn into the next fight.
Yeah, I think I like these swaps. I like these swaps. Try to see if they can find some early picks.
You know, the junk for the shield bust.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looks like they're going to path around right side of statue here. Just poking and prodding at the moment. Zombies finding the kill onto the counterpart. Ash there with a nice TNT. That res is going to come through. So far, Danny Defeato able to keep them in check. Shields are breaking, though. I think this is going to be Decay's cue to move in. Oh, they don't do it quite in time. Orisa shield comes back up, but they do find the kill onto that Orisa before they can get the shield. So indeed, that is their cue to go. Dex is live, finding a pair of good kills coming off of a Junkrat. And then Dex DPS picking up a headshot, finding a little revenge for that earlier kill. And this will be Decay picking up first point.
And that's really the power of the Mercy in this composition. Usually when you see Ash, you see it paired with a Mercy, but this Mercy aided the whole team. You saw him MLG Seth. Reses up Dex DPS, right? And then uses the Valk. And the rest of the team is able to kind of walk in. Dex is live, is able to get some extra shots and, you know, move past the barrier because of the Valk healing. So they get a little more aggressive. They find these kills. They turn to 5v6. They're basically a 6v0 as they cleaned up the rest of them. Now you got the payload moving. Good second attack there by Decay. Nice adjustment made. Well done by them.
Well, and Dex is live, have basically caught up to Jirachi Legends despite making the swap onto the second engagement. He matched him there in ult economy and is coming up on a tire of his own, though Jirachi Legends does have his online and ready to go. We'll see if he decides to use his first. Though, G, finding a good kill there. Say Zombies throws Bob into the mix, finds a pair, but Fatal answering right back as Zombies is traded out 4v4 here on Streets phase. Neither tire coming out, but both supports gone on the side of Decay as they're looking to try to push in. Danny Defeato will find the res onto Zombies and get that kill onto Dex DPS. I think it should just be cleanup for the defense at this point.
They're investing a decent amount of this. I guess maybe just the bongo, you know, the damage amplification.
Yeah,
they are going to continue to get these kills.
Supercharger used. It looks like MLG did come through with the res, and here comes the tire. Zombies falls to that tire. And Jirachi,
oh my goodness,
answers right back, picking up 2 of his own. Res comes through onto the Ash. What a great counterpunch coming from Danny Defeato. Hold on here at Bookstore.
That was amazing to see. Neither team folding for that long fight. You saw both squads off of respawns getting there as fast as they can to contribute. But, I mean, I think in the end it was just that big tire by Jirachi. Shuts down 2. They get the pull as well to catch the staggers, or at least a couple of them. And so finally you're going to stop. And a can of tuna going down. That's going to be an extra 20 or so seconds. You got to get the spawns and the walk-up.
Don't even make it through the choke before losing their main tank. That's definitely a disastrous start to that assault.
Yeah, disgusting poke by this comp, and what that's going to do is allow them to get their ults back. You saw Zombies opening that last fight with a Bob. It was a while ago, granted, but he is already 85 to his next one. Slept in the back, but he's going to be looking to use that in this fight.
Speaking of Bobbert the Butler, we do have one coming out on the side of the offense, throwing down to initiate this fight. Valkyrie used as well, damage boost going down on the entire team, but here comes a Gravitic Flux from the other side.
Oh my goodness.
The nanoed Orisa able to fortify out of it, but nevertheless, several people caught in. Jirachi and Zombies following up on that Flux nicely, picking off 2 members of the attacking team here. Coalescence invested from Danny Defeato as they're looking to chase off the lone members of Decay here, who have just scattered after that excellent assault coming through.
And I see what Decay was getting at there with that early Bob. They used him actually to bust the shields and focus cooldowns and attention. But the problem was, right after they finished that, Hordak came in with a massive Gravitic Flux, made of invest that nano boost, not much value, and they were able to catch a couple kills. And so off that Gravitic Flux and the Coalescence, they're kind of able to float through that fight pretty much unscathed. And now 1 minute, 40 seconds on the clock, maybe 2 fights for Decay. They're going to have to be pretty good through the rest of those.
Yeah, swapping over to Echo here to see if they can perhaps find a backline kill, put some pressure on from above. But Jirachi Legends right there to pick up the flank, and Echo is down. We did have G making a swap over to the Moira as well. We'll see if that extra healing is enough for them to push around this corner. They're going to have to watch out from this tire coming out of Jirachi, and it finds both of those healers. 2 of the most important kills you could pick up. No more sustain left on the battlefield here for Decay, and it should be cleanup for the defense from here.
Oh, and the Graviton was used in that fight, too.
Sir.
That could have been a win condition for him as well, but the tire shuts it down. You see no defensive ults on the side of Danny Defeato, so that grab could have been devastating. But the fact that they were able to take out 2 damage dealers right there with Jirachi just kind of clutches it up there. And 45 seconds, probably last fight, and all they have to work with is a Valk and possibly a Junkrat tire.
Yeah, we'll be looking to see if this tire could be the difference maker. Fate's going to go and swap over to the
route.
Roadhog here. Yeah, and they're making an interesting rotation.
They don't know.
Danny Defeato has not picked it up yet. No. Well, they're going to know now as the Hog emerges and mines are coming out. They're kind of getting chased around up to the high ground here, but that's not necessarily a bad position. Dex is going to find a nice mine onto the Mercy. Throws out the tire, but it gets picked off. Jirachi Legends ready for it. Fate does get the kill onto Zombies, but not before he can get Bob on the field, who picks up both DPS on the side of Decay. Jirachi Legends throwing in that tire of his own. That's going to pick off the Mercy with just 9 seconds on the clock. I don't know that Decay has the reinforcements to do this. Both the remaining members are going to get picked off on point. Dex DPS coming in with a Tracer, but Hordak coming up with 3 big kills at the end to clean this thing up. Ooh, the Mercy manages to touch the very last moment. Does the res come through? No, they shut down the res. It will not be there. The overtime wick will burn away. And 1 point and 66 meters is all Decay is going to find here on Kings Row.
Yep, and I like what they were trying to do with that fight, you know, take their whole team to the high ground to take out that Junk Mercy. It was giving them a lot of problems early on, so they shut it down immediately. But the problem is, once you do that, you have no objective control. And so, smart move by Danny Defeato, they just kind of hold this high ground steady, they control the payload, and so now Decay still has to come to them. As they're walking, they place the Bob in a nice spot, and it was just kind of hard to follow through from there. Danny Defeato managed their ults properly. They got the perfect cleanup, and now for their attack, all they need is a cap and about a halfway push.
Yeah, what a dying breath there for Zombies getting that Bob out, who turned around and found 2 kills from the grave there for him. That was such an excellent placement of Bobber. It's an ultimate you don't typically think of having a lot of impact. You know, it's just kind of used for stall or perhaps to create a flank angle, force a Reinhardt to turn his shield a little bit. Typically not a big killer, though. Zombies, man, using it to great effect there on the defense.
And I think Jirachi Legends had some awesome, consistent tires. I don't think his tire got shot even one time. Maybe it did once, but it seemed like every time Jirachi Legends had it in the arsenal, it was a 1 fight already, because he could get 2, sometimes I think he got a 3K in there.
And it wasn't even so much about the number of kills, but the priority of those kills, finding the support line over and over again. But now
saving him from a grab, like
yes,
he
sir.
used it defensively too. It's impressive what he was able to put together with the tire. So,
but now we've got a Bastion defense coming out of Decay, hoping that push will be enough for them to tie up this match. They're just going to sit up on the high ground here. Dex DPS on the Hanzo for a little bit more shield break and range pick potential.
I can't believe they're beating him on the shield break.
Yeah, that far concerns me. Or at least it would concern me if I was playing for Decay right now, because there's so much damage coming up onto that high ground. Venus and Zombies finding kills, and the Mercy is down. No more res. And no, it's just easy pickings here for Jirachi Legends. Puts on the flank angle. Not picked up at all. Not recognized at all. Zombies there to help finish him off. And an easy point A picked up here for Danny.
Yeah, Danny Defeato picked him off like a puzzle. They take IMGA off the high ground there. They kind of force him down. Then Slay Zombies is able to stop the Mercy from getting the res. And so instantly you got the 6v4. Huge advantage. The Bastion can't do much with only 1 barrier, especially with the Pharah poking him from the side. So now going in. They're going aggressive with this Pharah. They're trying to catch him early. Look at this.
Yeah, Jirachi Legends with the barrage online. The new pickup from Apollo. That barrage is going to come out. Immediately takes down the Mercy. He does sacrifice himself in the process, and they had lost Hordak on the way. Dex is live, picking off the Mercy as well. This should be a 4v3, I believe, on the objective here in favor of the defense. They are going to have to watch out for Zombies, who is hiding out inside of the Fox and Bear here with that EMP online.
Yeah, the EMP can be massive, and so you're going to see him group up. They're going to use the window, the amplification matrix to walk forward, actually stop him from walking forward, rather. So they're going to hold this corner. Danny Defeato, of course, to play in the side. There's the EMP, though. Here they come.
Combined with the Coalescence, and that is going to be go, go, go here for Defeato. Dex is live, immediately picked off. Hordak and Jirachi Legends finding themselves a pair as well. And with
Steph.
Oh, the Mercy is hacked. Can't do anything.
No mercy.
Oh,
no
the
mercy
wings have
Defeato.
been clipped, and King's Row belongs to Danny Defeato.
Go, Danny Defeato. They take the 2-1 win there on King's Row in pretty dominant fashion. You know, we saw him slowly warming up on Busan, but I think this is the prime Defeato form we were looking for earlier, and so they were fully in control of this King's Row game. I think we saw some promise out of Decay, especially on their attack. They had some nice plays, especially that second offensive push. But really, Jirachi, you can see it in the play of the game. He's effective. Coming in for Dragon, who was great in the last map too. This Danny Defeato roster has a lot of depth, I gotta say.
I'm very impressed by the new pickups. I'm very impressed by the new pickups.
And sometimes it's tough to get that synergy too.
Exactly. Oh man, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that synergy is just there. They look to be very coherent, and the focus fire's on point. Jirachi Legends coming in from Apollo. Is that recent addition? Venus coming over from Astrantia, as I did find my notes there, chat.
Nice. Find them all over.
And making big impacts right out of the gate.
Definitely. And with the roster deadline at midnight tonight, right? This is kind of what it's going to be for the rest of the season. This is the Danny Defeato squad. This is the Decay squad. It's probably set in stone unless they're going to make some last-minute moves. And so we'll probably get to see the way the rest of this game turns out after this break, right?
Yes, sir. That's indeed. We will see you back here on Temple of Anubis. We're going to get set up for map 3. Y'all don't go anywhere. Oh, welcome back. We are here at halftime with the Console Overwatch multi-tier tournament. Tier 3 matchup between Danny Defeato and Decay. Danny Defeato up 2-0 here at the half. But before we get into map 3, we did have a couple requests coming through. So I have very important burning questions for you, Baysk. Very important questions.
Yes, sir.
What do you call an elephant that just doesn't matter?
Oh, man. I don't know.
An irrelevant. All right. That one brought to you by Airborne 1300. Thank you for that. Basic, I hear you heard a fascinating story as well.
Yeah, okay, so there's these two muffins, right? And they're in the microwave. And one muffin turns to the other muffin, he says, "Man, it's hot in here." The other muffin goes, "Whoa, a talking muffin!"
Yes! That one courtesy of CryoQuake.
Yes!
You are very welcome, chat.
Let's go!
Gold coming from Basic. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. I like it. Putting the guests on the spot with the dad jokes. All right. But that's enough of the brevity. Let's get into the seriousness here. We are heading into Temple of Anubis. See if Decay can start the reverse sweep here. Find some traction, find some momentum as we head into the back half of this match. Looked like we did have a substitute coming in. Basically, we got joining here for a map 3.
Yeah, we got Spar back in over Venus, I believe. And then I think Decay might be waiting on one of their guys to come in. We're still getting that sorted out. But yeah, Danny Defeato bringing Spar back in for map 1, playing, I believe, primarily the Lucio. We saw Venus on, was it Moira, I believe?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I apologize if I missed that. But yeah, I mean, both supports, I think, playing fairly well. But it probably depends on the lineup they're trying to run, the heroes they're looking at. So I'd expect a Lucio, maybe Baptiste or something, who knows. Yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see what they pull out for Anubis. They're going to be on attack first because we do have the side swaps. Decay will now be on the left side of your screen and Danny on the right. But besides that, nothing much changing. Same teams, fairly similar lineups. Should be going.
Just a quick reminder of our hero pool here for Week 5. You will not see any Reinhardt, nor will you see McCree, Widowmaker, or any Brigitte here in the last day of Week 5. Which kind of leads into Week 6. We'll start Week 6 tomorrow. We're going to have new hero pools, new map pools, and a whole new ball game. As well, you know, we've seen Echo here for the first time this week in the multi-tier tournament. We will have none of that next week.
Nope. Nothing.
No Echo. We'll also not see any Orisa, Tracer, or Moira. So it'll be an interesting hero pool there for Week 6. What are your thoughts on that? What kind of compositions we're going to see with those hero pools?
I'm just excited to not have to play double shield anymore. I'm gonna be straight with you. I personally prefer playing Rein Zarya because then I get to get back on my Lucio. But yeah, I figure teams that are strong with the Rein Zarya are gonna lean towards that. But you might see other groups getting more experimental. You know, Tracer's out of the pool, so you can't necessarily run those wacky wrecking ball comps. But teams could get fancy. I mean, there's no Echo, so you're not gonna see anything too out of the box that nobody knows how to deal with because Echo is the new hero. But essentially, I figure it's going to be a lot more Rein. You know, he's kind of been negated from the last 2 weeks as you took out Zarya the week before. You took out Rein directly this week. I think teams are excited to get back to that more standard Reinhardt style. He's a fairly well-picked hero, I think, in CGL specifically. So,
I mean, a well-liked hero across the board.
Yeah,
just kind of universally,
I love playing Reinhardt.
Yes, sir. Just kind of universally considered a fun-to-play hero, not too oppressive, but can still make giant impact plays. Just a perfectly designed tank as far as I'm concerned. And with the Week 6, we'll also get a new hero pool, or a new map pool, forgive me. As you can see on your screen now, map pool for this week, and the dominance Danny Defeato has shown us so far here in this series. But next week, we're going to be headed to Ilios to start things off. Blizzard World will be your hybrid map for week number 6. Volskaya, your assault, and Dorado will be your escort map to round out the 4-map set. Of course, we do play all 4 maps here in the Console Overwatch multi-tier tournament. Those map points ever so important, especially in this tier. I mean, Basic, we still have so many undefeated teams. Tier 3 is such a competitive division.
It's so well populated, and I love seeing it all over Twitter too. I mean, there's so many just guys going at each other. It's pretty entertaining to watch, but it's also cool to see how it pans out as well. Because, you know, we had that C4 versus Apollo game, or Space C4, I apologize. That was pretty interesting. I caught a glimpse of that, but that was just a crazy game. And just a bunch of great teams in this tier, I think. It's a super competitive tier, one of our most competitive tiers, due to the size and just the overall passion from the players. And neither of these teams are any exception. You know, Decay and Danny Defeato, they've been giving it their all this whole match, and so I'm excited to see what Temple of Anubis has in store. I think we can send this in right now. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. We also saw Tidal RTC go up against Prophet's Tribe yesterday to another set of contenders for the postseason here in the Tier 3 division. Danny Defeato, hoping they can claw their way up into that upper echelon. Not to be redundant. And so far, man, they're on track here today. And I can't reiterate how much I am enjoying these new additions. Looking to really make a big impact.
Yeah, I've casted, I believe, one other Danny Defeato game earlier in the season, and it was a completely different team. They looked different, they played different heroes. I'm sure that plays in part with the bans. But it's this new personnel and the new specialties, you know, and now I'm excited to see Jirachi possibly play this Reaper. Zombies, we know, the Somber is great. But then looking at the defense of Decay, can't forget about these guys. You got Dex DPS and Dex is live. Ironic that they're both Dex. They're a pretty solid DPS duo. And I think with Anubis, you got the high ground to work with. I think Dex DPS is going to do a lot of DPS. And Dex is live is going to shoot a ton of damage onto shields with the junk. And so it should be a fairly solid hold for Decay if they can keep their bunker. Look at this. Look at this little hat shield that they made with the Sigma. It's like a little barrier. Look at that. No aerial attack.
Well, and none will be needed as we get a little scout coming out from Zombies. He's going to go ahead and go over to the Mei, so we will get the Reaper Mei DPS duo here from Danny Defeato on the attack. Coming out with the Wrecking Ball, and I love the Hammond pick on this map. Going up, able to displace people off that center platform. He's just clearing the Junkrat trap right now. Got to make sure you get those all off the playing field.
And a great run.
Yeah, the displacement working to perfection. G thrown down into the clutches of the rest of Danny Defeato, and he's immediately deleted. Jirachi finds one as well, but the defense of Decay answering right back. 2 kills coming through for them, so it's even up here on the point. But the Mei able to tilt that balance. The Orisa gets frozen up and deleted, shattered into small pieces of ice. And now...
Seth's still alive. Oh, never mind.
I wasn't sure how Seth survived as long as they did. It is still a bit of a brawl here on point. Danny Defeato certainly haven't capped this thing yet. Both DPS of Decay still here. Oh, I spoke too soon. Coalescence coming out.
DPS of Danny Defeato.
Yeah, and the tire just absolutely dissembled. The Coalescence is going to be enough to allow Danny to pick up point A here.
And I think a lot of that was playing off that first pick they got. They got aggressive, and then the brawl moved to point. Had you not gotten GA off that high ground there, I don't think you would have been able to walk to point as easily. It might have been a little bit more simple for Decay to shut them down, but no, they get the early pick, they take the advantage, and then they win the brawl because they have the respawns. And now moving into point B, they're going to have this Blizzard coming up, and Masuda's going to swap over to the Zarya, interestingly enough. So going up against the double shield of Decay. See how that plays out? Well,
yeah, they've got nothing to defend against this Blizzard on the other side, so it's going to be up to Sigma to just put out a clutch kinetic grasp and see if he can eat it down, or just kill him. If Zombies goes down before he has a chance to press Y, that's one way to handle a Blizzard. Jirachi Legends does answer back, taking out Dex, trades on the DPS side. Nevertheless, it does slow down this offense enough to where I believe Decay will be able to kind of take a breath and plant their feet.
That was a good recession by Danny Defeato, you know, to get out of there. Just bail out, wait for your Mei to get back, take the 6v6. They got the opening pick, or not necessarily the opening pick, but Jirachi found one. They had a 5v5, but they didn't have the Mei ult. So now they're going to try to use it this fight. But keep in mind, you're going up against 5 on the side of Decay here.
That Blizzard coming out, but we got Supercharger plus Coalescence in response from the defense. Bob also thrown back into the caves. Oh, man. Wow, what a play coming from G on the Moira. Canatuna finding success as well with a nice headshot on a Jirachi Legends. But it was G with the Coalescence, not allowing any room for Danny Defeato to work there in caves.
And the best thing about that is they don't use the Graviton Flux. And we've seen in the last 2 maps how devastating that ultimate can be. And so they down the 3 next ultimates from Danny Defeato here if they play their cards correctly and they get this big Gravitic Flux. They also have the Valk as well as a little insurance policy.
On the other side, Danny coming in with Death Blossom and 2 support ults of their own. Gravitic Flux not far behind there for Hordak. As they're going to come through caves again, we're going to get the Flux out of the defense first, but Sound Barrier there, able to keep the team alive through all of that damage. Hordak's going to respond with his own Coalescence and Death Blossom, but both come out. Jirachi able to find one before he gets taken down by Dex DPS. Canatuna does not last long in that beam of healing and death coming out of the Moira of Danny Defeato, and now they're just going to collapse onto the remaining 2 members. The Moira and the Sigma, they're trying to come out and stall, but disjointed from the rest of the team. They're easily handled here with the focus fire of Danny Defeato right on point. Diva is going to come out and try to stall this thing out as the Junkrat returns as well. So far, the defense, though, not able to find any picks, but doing a decent job of stalling out the clock.
Yeah, that's kind of the name of the game in 2CP, right? You're just trying to get it as far down as you can. The fight's essentially over. It's all just clean up here, unless you can see some clutch ults. But now the kill feed's all red. It's all Danny Defeato. And so they're just waiting to get these last couple kills so they can get their time and get on defense. But Tire coming through. Oh, it gets shot out by Jirachi.
Yeah, great play coming from the Reaper. Yep. Just under 2 ticks. They're literally 0.6% from getting that second tick of permanent progress. Nevertheless, Danny Defeato. Yeah. It's just nutty stuff coming out of Danny, as they have not lost a single member here on this point. Bob throwing onto the objective has little effect. Now Coalescence coming out on the side of the defense. Canatuna taken down just before she tried to get back in mech, and yeah, they do eventually get that second point on the board. 2:15 in the time bank.
Yeah, that's just kind of the stall. And the interesting thing to point out is Spar on the Lucio, actually. You saw going into that fight, both teams had their Gravitic Flux. You saw Valkyrie on the side of Decay, but it was mirrored by a Sound Barrier on the side of Danny Defeato. And Sound Barrier can heal you, or I guess basically shield you, through a Gravitic Flux, but Valkyrie doesn't necessarily do that. You get slammed down, you're already at half health. If Danny Defeato walked in quick enough, they could have cleaned those kills up, which is exactly what they did. That's how they got the advantage. It was no defensive ultimate for Decay that kind of led to their crumble there. But maybe they could pull something off on the offense here. They probably have some nice strategies set up. Everybody has a unique approach to Temple, I think. That's why I love seeing team play on 2CP as opposed to, your regular competitive queues. Because, yeah, look at this. Look at this straight dive from Decay. This is awesome if they stick on it. Yeah, I would love to see them run this.
This is what I'm talking about. You know how much we love dive on this channel. It's just so fun to watch.
It's so intense. It's great.
On the side of the defense, it looks like we're getting a little bit of a Risa Hog coming out from Danny. They're going to put zombies back onto the Pharah, Jirachi onto the Junkrat. So, a little bit of a double spam composition. It's the support line here I find fascinating. I mean, obviously you're going to bring the Mercy to pocket that Pharah, but the BAP to heal up your tanks. What do you make of that pick?
It's mainly for the Orisa, so you don't have to use the Fortify at all points. I think this is going to allow Hordak to hold an aggressive position so they can keep doing these hold hooks. Because on this opening choke, there's only one way through on Temple of Anubis. It's these two arches right here. And so if you shoot a halt up there and you throw your hook, you're almost guaranteed a pick if you can execute it properly. So I think that's what they're going to try to do. Yep, there's the early hook.
Canatuna already DMAX. Dex falls as well to a rocket from zombies. That's Dex live. Dex DPS on the Tracer. Back here on the objective. Trying to pull a little off angle. I thought he might have been able to get a cap. I wasn't sure that Danny Defeato had picked him up.
I like this route from Dex. It's nice.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, if this dive composition is going to work, they need to surround the members of Danny and kind of all collapse simultaneously on the most vulnerable target. Right, we'll see if they can pick out which target that is. It looks like a lot of pressure going down onto the Tracer in the back line. In fact, Jirachi Legends will find that kill, but not before Dex DPS can pick the Pharah out of the sky. That is going to force out Rez. Pharah back in play, but they no longer have that cooldown.
And look at this. They back them all the way back up to point as well. And so now this is a great striking point for Decay. They lose their Tracer, but look at the positional advantage they have now. They control most of the high grounds on the close side, but they do not have their Winston anymore. So it will be tough to push in.
Dex is live, trying to make a run at the flying hero. You don't see a Genji try to take the duel with the Pharah very often, and he almost made it work. The deflect just ever so slightly off target there. Oh, hook coming through onto the Lucio. He's able to back up and out of there. I think he got lucky on a chain break. I saw him get yanked towards the edge there, but didn't get pulled all the way down. Fortunate turn of events there. Oh, a nice kill from the Diva. Takes zombies out of the sky. That could be a great opening, despite the fact that they've lost their Genji early.
Jirachi
again, with the target priority, finds both supports. We did get the Ant Matrix coming out on the side of Danny Defeato as well. Despite the fact of a couple early kills, we do have Decay, though, with some late picks. This might be an opportunity if they can strike quickly.
I don't know if that whole hog was necessary. I mean, it is going to back him up, but DPS still doing work up top. Look at this.
Oh, and now the hog in big trouble. He's trying to take a breather, and we did get the res coming through onto Jirachi Legends. We know how dangerous he can be on that Junkrat. Slay Zombies is going to pick off Dex live, who has the barrage online and ready to go. And it does look like in the twilight hour, Danny Defeato able to regroup a little bit, though they're not quite out of hot water just yet.
This got so awkward, and look at the comp now Decay has switched to. I don't understand this at all.
Yeah, it's very split-focused.
You got the Ashe, but no Mercy Pocket, which is going to make it a little bit difficult to take out that Pharah. And you have a Genji, but really, where's the Genji going to go? I guess on the supports. You got your Diva to follow, but I don't know how they want to approach this, especially because they still have 2 tanks in the back. Look, you got your Hog in the top left, D.Va in the back. They got to get grouped up or something. They got to find a way to get some damage out. There you go. There's the damage.
That's one way to do it. Just hook the Pharah out of the sky. But with this positioning, it is going to take fantastic individual performance here for Decay to make this work. There's a good bomb thrown in. That's going to take... Oh, the bomb gets the Junkrat, and the barrage gets interrupted by a beautiful hook there from Woeful, excuse me. It does eventually go down to the hands of Weirdy on the Hog from Danny Defeato. But in the end, Dex is live finding success, and Decay picking up point A.
I mean, I stand corrected. I was a doubter. I thought this comp is strange. I don't understand it. But the strange is good, I think. I think it threw Danny Defeato for a loop. You still had the Hog on the high ground. You saw that early hook. That was awesome by AT Woeful. And so, probably some switches come through. Yep, Canatuna going to go on the Orisa. You can't push second point without a main tank. That just seems like a suicide mission.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. I'm honestly kind of concerned about the Blade. I feel like the Blade is going to struggle to find value here. Perhaps onto the Ana, but you're going to have to get past Immortality Field, and you're running into a Junkrat. Oh, nice hook there from Wordy on the Hog. That's a great opening pick there for the defense. Woeful able to pick off Jirachi's tire, though. So things not looking all bad here for the attacking team as Decay's trying to deal with this Sombra in the back line. She is forced to translocate out as Decay approaches the front door, point B here.
Yeah, I mean, with killing that tire, you trade 20 seconds for an ult on the side of Danny Defeato. But you can't do that very often, as you see only 2 minutes 30 seconds. And if they want to finish with time and have a chance to win this map, which they need to propel this match, DK's got to get something going now. They got to get... Oh, that's not going to help.
Oh, that is not going to help. Dex is live, getting hooked and deleted with the Blade in his pocket. Katana ready to go and no chance to use it. Seth getting picked off as well by Hordak, and with those 2 kills, the defense of Danny Defeato gives themselves some room to breathe here.
Yeah, but I do got to say, good for Decay for not splurging on ults. They need to save up. They need to get a decisive fight, because if you don't get it, you know, with a team kill, you're just going to see a long stall come through. You're going to probably get dropped to 0 seconds, and there's not much that can happen after that. A forced draw is going to mean a loss for Decay. I'm going to assume they want to win this. So, see the Blade in the back.
Zombies taken out early. Blade does find one. Is he eventually able to chop through? In fact, a whole host of ultimates coming out. We did get Whole Hog as well as the Amplification Matrix coming out from the offense. EMP thrown into the mix as well. Yet another tire coming out of Jirachi Legends. This one finding much more success. And the defense just holding on strong here on point B. No progress given and a reset coming through from Decay.
I really love what Zombies did there. It was a defense to BMP. It wasn't preemptive to get the fight going because at that point they would have stopped the ults. But with waiting for them to use their ults in the fight, Slay Zombies is able to get all those off the table, then use the EMP. They give up no ticks, they win the fight, and now it's going to be really hard for Decay to come back this. Their closest ult charge is MLG Seth with 50% on Coalescence.
I can't help but wonder if that was just a little bit of serendipity there for Zombies. He had gone down first in the previous fight. Wasn't able to use that and just returned to the fight late. I mean, if he really planned it out like you're talking about, that is some big brain stuff. And even with him coming back... Even with him coming back into the fight, though, I mean, it was the timing of it was absolutely flawless, and now he's just picking off Canatuna over there. We had Dex DPS swapping over the Tracer, but finding no room to work, and Decay just looking scattered here on this final engagement.
Yep, and at this point, they're playing for a draw on Anubis. It's going to be impossible to cap with 15 seconds left, if at all. So they're going to go full dry fight here. Nobody that close to ults.
Oh, and they're running into EMP tire and a nano boost on the other side. Jirachi Legends, I swear he's getting this tire every 30 seconds. Just nutty ult charge. And he's going to pick off Dex DPS with this one. And that's a nice early advantage. We're going to get the nano boost coming down onto the Whole Hog, demeching the D.Va on the side of Decay. And here comes the Whole Hog out. Overtime Wick is burning, and the defense just picking up all the kills. There goes the last remaining member of Decay, and that is going to be Danny Defeato picking up Temple of Anubis and taking the 3-0 lead here in our series.
Yeah, very solid hold there by Danny Defeato, especially on that second point. And with that, they're going to get the 3-0 win. We do still play the fourth. We have the technicality here in CGL to play all 4 for map points. And as we're getting closer to the postseason, map points are really important. So I don't think Danny Defeato is going to stop after this 3-0 either. I think they're going to still send, you know, their best guys. They're going to try to get this 4-0 clean victory, because that may be pivotal for seeding in the future.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I don't see them letting their foot off the gas in the slightest here as we head into Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yep. So Gibraltar coming next. Hopefully some cool, fancy dive stuff, but we're just gonna have to wait and see, right?
Yes, sir. Oh man, this is Winston's playground.
Yep, exactly.
Just time and time again, I have no qualms to tell you that this is absolutely Winston's playground. And one of my favorite maps. This is probably my favorite escort map for that reason, for the amount of variety that you can bring to this. You know, with Point A, you have one of the most interesting layouts I think in the entirety of Overwatch, with the car wash going underneath.
Yep.
And then the high ground platform where you have blue box where you can kind of stage as a dive team, or you can set snipers up there to kind of counter against the catwalk on the defensive side of A there. I love the setup of this map.
And so, yeah, there's a lot of options you can do as well. You can hold the first choke, you can hold the back high ground, you can hold all the way under the dip. Defensively, you can do kind of whatever. And offensively, you can do some cool stuff too. We got Echo in the game now. I'd expect to see, especially with Decay now losing this game, I'd expect them to get a little experimental, you know, try to have some fun with it, right? Maybe see if we can pull one out with a little unorthodox comp, similar to what they were trying on Anubis, which did end up working. I'd love to see a similar sort of thing, but we're just going to have to wait and find out next map.
I'll tell you what, I've been watching a little bit of the Female Legends tournament that happened today. Oh, and that was such a good tournament. It was really fun to see. And there was a lot of the double flying comp where we had the Echo combined with the Pharah and the Mercy up there to pocket them both. And man, it was something to watch.
Yeah.
I thought it would be
full air.
Yeah, I thought that comp would be a lot more prevalent personally, and it was the first time I had seen it. And I'll be expecting seeing it more because it just opened up so many angles, and the other team just doesn't even know where to look at that point. You've got to be able to counter not just one, but two very elusive flying heroes. But with that, you've got to have the sustain on the front line, otherwise they just get ran over.
Indeed. And so, yep, got to swap it over to Gibraltar. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see what's going to happen here on our final escort map. And so, unfortunately, we won't get to see the Ilios, which is tough because I love Ilios as a Lucio main. It's just always fun.
And I just love my map 5s. It just makes for
it's
such
intense.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes for such sweaty Overwatch. I absolutely love it.
Yep. And it's tough when the game's already called because some teams are like, yeah, why is the 4th map important, right? Why should we care? And like we were mentioning, seeding and map points. Danny Defeato at what are they sitting at now? 3-2 after this win?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
they
so
are
at 3-2.
officially moved to 3-2.
They're going to need a little bit of separation from those other, like, middle-of-the-pack teams, 3-2. If they can have a strong map differential, their wins being big 4-0s and their losses being tight, they could really see a high seed despite a barely winning record, assuming the trend continues. But I think with this new roster, this Danny Defeato team is really one to look out for.
Yeah, I'd say they leveled up, my friend. I'd say they're looking very strong, at least here today.
We should actually be able to head in here fairly shortly. Just waiting on the ready-ups from both captains.
I'm worried that Danny Defeato is going to have to go pretty much undefeated through the rest of the season to stay in that upper echelon. This division's so tight. We've talked about that. 3 losses is really your 3 losses, and you won't make playoffs in the Tier 3 division. And with Danny Defeato now sitting at 3-2, they're going to have to be flawless here for the rest of this tournament.
Yep, and strength of schedule is also something to keep in mind. I honestly, unfortunately, don't know which teams Danny Defeato has played and has yet to play. But regardless of who it is, because we have a lot of talent in Tier 3, they're going to have to continue to bring their A game. Unfortunately for Decay, I don't know if postseason is kind of a possibility here. They can still pull some stuff out. I'd love to see another wonky thing on Watch Point.
No, I don't. I think Decay's postseason hopes are pretty much done for. But just like when you come into map 4 when you're down 0-3, the amount of heart you show and the willingness to keep fighting, to keep improving, keep getting better, I think is way more important than your overall standings. I mean, you come out and prove to the world that you certainly never give up. You don't go down without a fight, and you're going to dig deep, and you're going to give the other team everything you've got, no matter the situation. To me, that is one of the, if not the single most important aspect of any team.
Yeah, and that's what this is about, right? You're playing for your own personal pride. You're playing to get better. We're all ranking up. it's the coolest thing to watch. You know, everybody getting better because of CGL. You know, you're including this team play style. You're getting some more friends. You're getting a new group, and it's really fun to see how many people can actually come together to form the league like this, and it's just really awesome.
Hey, I mean, it even goes for myself and you as well here on the casters, you know?
Yeah,
We're just trying
it gives us an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly, to just keep learning, keep growing, and keep improving. So it is absolutely the name of the game. I couldn't agree with you more, my friend.
I'm just having fun with it, and I think they are too. Both teams doing the Bastions. So we're going to see a Mirror Orisa Bastion, but a second shield for the side of Decay here, as we did swap sides again, keep in mind.
Yep, we do have Danny Defeato in the blue jerseys, and Dragon coming back in the DPS role, picking up the mantle of the Bastion, and so far putting him to good use.
Yes, sir.
Defense putting up a big hold here to start things off. On the side of the offense, go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt.
My apologies. I was going to say I like zombies on the soldier here, because it does deny the, basically, allowance of an Echo. Dex DPS going to try to fly through there with the Mercy Pocket, but you have this double hit scan, you know, the Bastion soldier. The Echo can't stay in the air for more than a minute or two, or second or two, because bam, they take them down instantly right through the gates. So much damage coming through.
Already opened up with a nice hook, taking that Sigma down. Now Canatuna just trying to run on point by himself, but that is a fool's errand, as he just eats so many bullets coming out of the Bastion and the soldier. And we need a bit of a reset here, I think. Maybe even back to the drawing board on this composition here for Decay.
Yeah, and Dragon already 95 to configuration tank, and Slay Zombie's not too far behind at 89. You can see the hit scans putting in the work right now. Dex DPS kind of trying to deny them of that. And I'm surprised they're still coming up this left side. They seem to get caught pretty much every time.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if perhaps dive might be the way to go, using a D.Va to help cover the defense matrix. If you look, they are slowly, the Mercy with the hero play, just slowly inching this thing along, and that's gonna force the rotation. That forced Danny Defeato off the high ground. McClef on the Mercy, buying so much room. Or MLG Seth is what that actually is. But the Mercy playing the role of a tank there, and just bought their team so much room to work. That was a pretty big brain play. I like it.
Yep, and I think this is smart by Danny Defeato to come back up here. Oh, but nice hook on Dragon. Can they finish him off? No. And so we're going to see him set back up on this high ground, unfortunately. We saw a sliver promise there for Decay, but
they missed their opportunity to take the high ground and deny that positional advantage.
Take out Yoshi, though. Another opener.
Tuno working his way up with a nice kinetic grasp. He had a ton of health that he stole from that Bastion. They are going to get that res back onto Yoshi, but Dex DPS on the Tracer, able to find the kill. Throws the pulse bomb out, doesn't quite find what they're looking for. Now Dex DPS is going to go right into the backline to see if they can take out this Bastion. Killing that Bastion is absolutely the win condition here. And
oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, now Dragon's going into his tank configuration. Landing those rockets. Oh my goodness, taking G off the high ground. Does eventually fall to the hands of Woeful. Yeah, got a little too aggressive. I have to agree, and the res comes through onto G, but the res comes through onto the Bastion as well.
Yeah, and so you saw Decay taking out the supports, but they couldn't take out the Bastion. Oh, Dragon's still sitting there strong. He doesn't even have a shield. He just has a Mercy Pocket. He's fully confident just sitting there and spraying, and they are yet to punish him, aside from that configuration tank. And now we got Dex down on the lower left side. Maybe not.
Danny Defeato playing this so smart, using the Bastion to control the primary chokes. As you can just see right there, Dragon throwing all that damage in. Canatuna's kinetic grasp, not enough. Oh.
Somebody hop the Mercy, no! Nowhere to fly.
Oh, and he does get taken out. That was a good play there. I'd missed that play. That was good. But yeah, as I was saying, I like how Zombies is covering the flank angles, not allowing any of those off angles to get through. Just like that, picking up that Tracer and protecting the Bastion from getting surrounded, which is his big weakness.
They can't even get in there with the tank. You know, you saw Dex's live take the ult over the top. Dragon's already set up. Nobody to touch the cart besides Seth again.
A supercharged whole hog cleaned the first time. This Mercy in MLG Seth is just ridiculous. Are you kidding me? He's out there.
Go.
Hard carry on the Mercy. Yeah. Go Seth. Oh, Zombies has finally take him out. Dragon's going to clean up the point. I'm afraid that's as far as Decay is going to get here on Gibraltar.
It was like you were talking about, though, the heart. You can see Seth still trying to make it work, pushing the cart, trying to do the objective, do the impossible. You know, Mercy's probably the least likely candidate to get a 1v6, but that doesn't stop MLG7
It
from
doesn't
doing their
stop
best,
them.
you know?
Gotta love it.
I can appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I can appreciate the effort.
Respect. Oh, nevertheless, that defense of Danny Defeato. There's some alliteration for you, chat.
Yep.
Looking very strong, looking very dominant to continue with it, and not allowing him to even get through car wash. They don't even have to make it to the final corner here for the full clean 4-0 sweep.
Now the question is, how do you hold this if
Bastion.
you're Decay?
Yeah,
I'd say Bastion.
You have to do the all or nothing strat.
But one thing I've seen various teams do is hold the front choke, like right on top of the payload. And in doing this, if you lose the first fight, you can still probably take one near the back. But the payload is pretty close up this slope.
I was gonna say, if it was behind
meters.
that corner,
Yeah,
I think that might work. But because
it's a little tight,
it's
so you might not be able to do it.
Yeah, because they just were able to push it slightly past the car wash area. I'm not sure that they could buy themselves 2 fights here. But I like your thinking.
Yeah, and I like this experimental style, again, from Decay. No shield tank, you know, it's just Dex, DPS on the hog. Oh, they're on off rolls.
Oh yeah, they're just
they're
throwing
having some fun with it.
They're just throwing it all over the place.
Yeah, they're gonna swap the roles. This is allowed.
As long as it's between rounds.
Correct.
Just to clarify, you're not allowed to swap roles during the same round, but between attack and defense, that is a valid swap. As we have the main tank player going over to the Torbjorn, and Canatuna at Woeful going on to a Genji. Oh man! Tuna just gets Hulk deleted by the Bastion.
I feel bad. They're just trying to have fun on the off-rolls, but you got a pirate ship with a Bastion Torb. Danny Defeato, I can understand why they want to take it seriously. They want this full 4-0. They want it easy. They don't want it to be risky.
Yeah, no, there was nothing trivial coming out of Danny Defeato here on this attack. There was a nice hook early on there, as Dex DPS was almost able to clear off the Bastion, but he got saved by his Mercy, was able to get back set up, and it was just clear sailing from there. I feel like Danny Defeato's in 6th gear, and there is just nothing here to stop him. Despite the best efforts, they're getting sweaty in there, and Woeful's going to go ahead and throw a blade, grab on Surge, and what? Oh, what a turnaround! Oh, what a turnaround! Woeful! Woeful! Oh, I'm sorry I doubted you, buddy. Wow! What a play coming through from G and Woeful.
Bring it back. I want to see him bring it back. What a fantastic comeback there. You have the Graviton as well from IMGA. Oh, man.
That was something to see. That was absolutely brilliant, and it's been my favorite moment of this match here so far.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to come back now.
Yeah.
You're going to see 4 ults on a pirate ship, but at least we got to see something awesome, right? That for me, highlight of the match right there.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, Dragon with the 3 kill on the tank configuration. They do still have, I mean, the Dex is live down on cart trying to stall. Oh, but Danny Defeato, there's the victory square, or victory rectangle, should I say, and the 4-0 sweep.
But that was exciting. That's how you want to see your map for. A little bit of fun, a little bit of cool stuff. Hopefully we get to see this Dragon Blade. Yup.
No, that's what you call going out in style. Going out with a bang, for sure. Gotta love it. Mad respect to Decay here for the heart and will the fun that we saw at the back of this series.
Woeful looking good on the Genji. Dang.
Right?
I don't even know that was an off-roll, right?
Where was that coordination the rest of the match? That grab blade just blew my mind, guys. Well done, Decay.
Overtime heroics.
Oh, big props to that Mercy. Big props to the Mercy there. On 2 different occasions going in solo, try to hard carry.
Stand.
Oh man, great match. In the end of the day, Danny Defeato taking the clean 4-0 sweep here. They will move to 3-2 in their overall standings. Decay, unfortunately for them, falling 0-4 here. Still looking for that elusive first win, but I feel like we've seen signs of growth from both of these teams just over these 4 maps.
Indeed. And Decay, nothing to be mad at. I think you're going up against a red-hot Danny Defeato squad that just made some swaps. They look great. They look very coordinated. They have a ton of individual talent. That was evident, especially on Busan, I think. That was probably the most obvious. But just through all 4 maps, it was consistently Danny Defeato, showing their strength. But Decay stayed in there. They battled. They managed their ults fairly well. and they got a couple nice fight wins. They made it competitive all the way through. While they didn't really pull them off and they didn't make it super close, they kept them in there, and Danny Defeato definitely still had to give it their all. Watch Point Gibraltar is my favorite map I've casted in a long time. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that
was a great way to end it.
That was a ton of fun. Thank you so much, teams, for participating. We wouldn't be here without all of you gamers pouring your hearts into this tournament, and we really do appreciate it so much. Big thank you out there to chat for hanging out with us today, watching some 100%. Fantastic Overwatch. Baysk, thank you for joining me here in the booth, man.
Thanks for letting me on.
Absolute pleasure to get to cast with you.
Yeah, a little last minute check my phone, like, oh yeah, I got to get on that cast right now. That was awesome.
Boom, let's go do it. Before we close it out, we got to give an MVP. We got to give a player of the match. I mean, I'm leaning towards Jirachi, perhaps.
I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one, most likely. I mean, it was the consistency of the tires, right? It was just the fact that
that's exactly
always
what I was thinking.
Always able to have that fight, and it was hard for Decay to get past that. You know, they had their promise in their fights. Sometimes Danny Defeato didn't have the defensible. They used the tire as a defensible to stop Decay's supports. Like, that's genius.
And just touching on, following up rather on what you're saying there, the tire always having just great target priority, always hunting down those supports, finding the clever angles to get there, you know, catching the team off guard, catching Decay off guard. Jirachi Legends, your player of the match here today, my friends. And
I think everybody did their role too, to be honest.
Agreed. No, this is a tough one. This is a tough one when I was looking at it going, like.
Yeah, everybody did well. Everybody popped off.
Right.
Even on the side of Decay, there were a couple individuals that I thought were pretty standout as well. Like,
I'd have to agree. G looking really good there in the support role.
Yep.
But that is going to conclude our broadcast today here, friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Y'all remember to wash your hands, flatline this virus, take it seriously. As gamers, we're leading the charge on this thing. Let's continue to be the example to the world on how you flatline this thing. And look out for each other in-game and out, as always. We will see you next time, my friends. Have a wonderful evening.
Peace out.